Target Trading Academy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Preston Vogl here at Target Trading Academy with today's micro recap. It is Friday, just after 4:07 p.m. It is the 17th of December, getting ready for our weekend here. Let's just get straight into it with micro oil. Choppy day, slower day. As you can see, not a ton of participation. We did open up inside of yesterday's range at the lower end, low from the close. So we opened up lower from the close, and they kind of made an attempt back towards it, but they did not make it. And they had a huge rejection come down where they finally found support. Choppy day. We did have a handful of entries, but for the most part, oil was not the best market to be in. Moving on to our gold market here. We opened well above yesterday's range, above the contract high, and they immediately had a move to get back towards that close, back towards the range, and they just could not get to it for the most part. Happens to the best of them. So what we see here is during the day, it was very choppy, and then when gold closes at 130, here they just never quite got to it, but the aftermarket did finish it to get back into the range. But they got close. Some valid entries, but again, it was a choppy, slow day today. Fridays aren't always the best days. They're hit or miss. You can have some good entries, but for the most part, Fridays and Mondays aren't the best days to be trading. Now with our equities here in the ES here, we had quite the roller coaster, choppy roller coaster, I would say. So we opened, gap down from the close yesterday, not terribly far from the close, but you can see they made a short run before denying this and then spending a good portion of the day down here before quickly rallying to get back towards that close or the range from yesterday. You can see they had that low, about 30 minutes after the market opened. An hour towards it being open is when they decided to turn this thing around. You see they bring it into the range, and they got close to getting to the beef of, or not the beef, but the meat of yesterday's range. Remember, yesterday we had quite the sell-off before they decided to come back into the middle of today's movement. And right now where we settled for the day is not terribly far from when we opened. If you recall, we opened up over here. So net negative day total if you look at the close to close. So it is a down day if you're comparing closes. NASDAQ, similar story. We'll just scroll this one back here. Now the ES did have a handful of entries as well. Same with the NASDAQ. But in terms of recap of what's going on, what happened, you can see that we did open gap down. The range is up here somewhere, the range low, and then the close up higher than that. But the difference with the NASDAQ and the ES is that we saw an immediate run up towards the range high or range low from yesterday, and then fiddled around in this area for a little bit, for about an hour or so, before they decided to bring this inside of the range from yesterday. You can see where it turned around and got back into the range on Thursday's movement to the close and a little higher before they turned it back. And the sellers kicked in and they got to the middle of today's movement, closing ultimately higher than where we opened, but net down from yesterday's close. So we're here. The close from yesterday was well up here. I want to say around 15,882-ish. So not terribly far, a good 70, less than 70 points or so. So up here in this vicinity. So not a terrible move down between the day's movements. Center that. Now, the one entry that I want to show today is from Miro. Miro is a student learning on the Oracle bot. So if you don't know or aren't familiar with what is the Oracle bot, it is a automated trading assist program that helps you execute our methodologies based off of our levels. It's not a set it and forget it by any means. You still need a human to turn it on, turn it off, and approve decisions that it may want to do. But this was taken from Miro with the Oracle Trade Assist bot, up 124.50 in the end of the day for his NASDAQ, micro NASDAQ trading. Now, it wasn't the only entry that he had taken. I believe this was the second or third entry in the micro NASDAQ for the day. However, up 124.50 on Sim. Not a bad chunk of change if you were to take that live. And there are students that are live that trade the micros that do make this and then more. Actually, I'll show one of those entries. And this is one of those very entries. This was taken from Roman. This is a live trade. He's up 240 in the micro ES. So that's not his first trade of the day in the micros, but most certainly he did have a stellar day. And that's not his only trade in general in this market. He had other trades in other markets, but for this market, he's up only 240. And I say only, that's a ton of money to make each day if you're doing this as a part-time job, per se, on top of your other jobs. With that said, if you're interested in finding out more information, finding out where we get these levels, these high volume areas that we give out to our students each night, if you're interested in learning more about them, about our methodologies, reach out to us. We are on Facebook. You can also go to our website at targettradingacademy.com. Find us on there to talk to. You can find a link to one of our representatives. They will gladly show you why we are the #1 trading education company in the world, and you'll soon realize why we have the most live profitable students in our rooms each day. We look forward to hearing from you.